Hey, good people. Listen, I flew way too long, way too early for that tired ass hello. We'll try that one more time. Hey, Netroots Nation. It's a little better. Hopefully, by the time we get to the bottom of my 10 minutes, you'll understand why I think it matters that your response is a little more enthusiastic. So I have a whole bunch of notes. We'll see if I actually read them. I want to ask your permission for something first. Is that okay? All right, can I tell the truth? Can I tell the truth even if it makes you mad? Okay. Can you promise that you will text me instead of emailing Mary if I say something that makes you mad? In fact, I'm going to give you a phone number. You ready? To my sweetheart, I promise it's not my personal cell, but it is one that I answer. 423-295-8221. 423-295-8221. If you get mad at me, text me. Don't email Netroots. Got it? All right. So, I had all these grandiose thoughts, random but synthesized into something that I thought would hopefully also help put some pep into your step as we move towards what will continue to be probably the most important election of my lifetime. Do you think it's the most important election of yours? Yeah. Okay. So, and I also recognize that it's been really noisy over the last 3 weeks. Have you felt like you're being made to be confused and distracted and overly emotional since the debate? Have you felt that way since before the debate? Yeah. So I want you to bow your heads and close your eyes for a second. I promise it's okay to do because I see people watching on the outskirts and I'm going to keep my eyes open as well. But I want you to just trust me for a second. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. And I want you to think about the person that you love the most in the world. See their face. Faces. Maybe it's your kid. Maybe it's your lover. Maybe it's the crew that you roll with, your organization. Maybe it's your community. For the dangerous homosexuals in the room, maybe it's like the folks that you dance with at the club. Right? For the religious folks, maybe it's your faith community. Just see them. Feel in your body what it feels like to be in their presence. When they're loving you the best and you feel the most loved, and when you can reciprocate that love the most. Right? You feel them? You see them? Yes. Do you? You feel them? You see them? All right. Do you feel like you've been the kind of leader that they deserve over the last 3 weeks? Yes. I hear you, Mama. Raise your hand, wave at me if you feel like you've been the leader they deserve over the last 3 weeks. We got some folks. Raise your hand if you feel like, nah, man, I didn't do it. It's me. It's me too. And you know why I feel that way? Well, that might be what we talk about today. I feel that way because if we were being honest, whether you identify as a Democrat or not, because I know there's some secret closet socialist in the room. I see you, I feel you, love. You might have been who I saw when I closed my eyes. Let's be honest. It's kind of our fault how we got here too, right? Everything Anat said about the right and how foolish and fucked up they are is right. But we also did it too, right? Both the left, the progressives, the liberals, our inability to work together, our inability to build strong bases that we're accountable to consistently. Some of this might be on us. Am I lying? Okay. So let's be honest. There's some conversations that we need to have, and we need to have them urgently. We need to have a conversation that's rooted in truth and love about the fact that we are scared and confused about power. We fear it. We don't understand it. We don't know what it is or who's got it, who should have it, how to get it, what to do with it, and how not to abuse it. That fear, that confusion undermines our ability to develop and carry out successful, multi-tactical, multi-sectoral, ecosystem-wide strategies, to identify tactics, to build alignment necessary for us to get what we want on the timeline that we need it, which is like yesterday if we're talking about democracy. Y'all can be mad, it's okay. I want to tell you another thing. Some of us are grieving and mourning in this moment. You want to know why? I'm glad you asked. It's because some of us took democracy for granted. I was just in Denmark for about a month, almost a month, with my family, both my work family and my bio and chosen family. And the folks in Denmark kept being like, man, how'd y'all get here? And I'm like, the same way you could get here if you keep believing that democracy is a given and you don't continue to fight for it. Okay? And wait, I see a whole bunch of marginalized and targeted people in the room, so let me back up. The U.S. has never been a democratic country for many of us, for most of us. But what little democracy there is, because it's a practice, it's not just a state of being. What little there is, we got because of movements that were led by people that look and live and love like you. Every good thing the Democratic Party ever is or ever will be is because of you. You're doing it. Democracy isn't a value, it's a practice. I want to be real that MAGA is waging a self-described war to gut and undermine the wins that I just said you've made and your people have made toward a more perfect union. And worse, they're revolutionizing government to impose fascism on all of us. If you don't believe all of us, let me tell you, I'm from the great state of East Tennessee. As goes the South, so goes the nation. Isn't an opinion, it's a fact. And we've been telling y'all this was coming for a while. What impacted all of us in a winner-take-all state where if I vote for Joe Biden, it's not going to matter. All the delegates are going to go to Trump anyway. That's been true for forever, and we've been telling y'all it was coming. So I want you to look around yourself. I want you to mourn that the purpose of this place hasn't lived up to its promise. And I want you to grieve what our own responsibility is to it. I promise I'm going to preach you up because I promised Mary I would, but I got to be honest first. I want to be honest that sometimes we shit talk instead of having principled struggle. It's probably even happened in the little bit of time we've been Netroots Nation this week. We have different assessments, we have sharp opinions, and we have strong emotions. That can either be our superpower, or it can leave us even more siloed and fragmented than we were before this electoral cycle. And guess what? Some of us are going to have to work together in 2025. Yes. Yes. Some of us are going to have to work together in 2025, regardless of what happens. Yes. We have to engage each other like that might be true. We have to be accountable to each other and to each other's communities. All right, now I'm about to give you an opportunity to shout. You ready? I'm going to lift you back up now that I've dashed all our dreams and beat us up a little bit. I want you to remember who you just saw when you thought about who you love the most. And I want you to feel your body and your mind and your spirit grounded in what you also already know in your bones. We got to be MAGA. We've got to be Trump because Trump is at the head of that fascist, authoritarian, Christian nationalist, white supremacist, patriarchal, ableist, blah, 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 blah movement. You should be excited about beating fascism. And I want to be clear that what is true today that was true the same night of the debate where half of the internet was going butt crazy was that the only viable way to beat Donald Trump is to vote for a Democratic nominee because we have a two-party system. And the left that I love, the left that I'm responsible and accountable for hasn't built the power to outdo the Democrats just yet, but I'm working on it. I love y'all that are making a way out of no way inside the Democratic Party, and I'm trying to do even better than that. But for now, what we've got is the Democratic Party, guys. It's a concrete assessment of concrete conditions. And what is true today that was true the day of the debate, which was true before that, is that it's either going to be Trump, or it's going to be Biden, or it's going to be somebody else that's a Democratic nominee. That's right. That was true yesterday, today, and will be true tomorrow. So we should get our focus back together on the fact that it will be one of those three options and get the job done. We should canvass and call and text and donate We should work with folks like Seed the Vote and Working Families Party and Court Accountability and United We Dream and the Movement for Black Lives and Showing Up for Racial Justice and so many other organizations, because elections are not just about what we think people think. Elections are about who shows up to the polls, casts a vote, and defends that vote till it's counted. It is a numbers game. Let's cut the turf. Let's get back to the good work of talking to regular-ass people in our communities and getting them to mobilize for collective action's sake. Let's help re-elect Cori Bush. Oh, y'all should do a whole lot better than that. I said let's re-elect Cori Bush. Let's let's get Summer Lee back in seat. Let's make sure AOC goes to Congress. Let's give it up for Ilhan Omar and flank and support her leadership and get her back in Congress. Let's make sure that Tlaib and Jayapal and Presley are there being champions for us because they've been accountable to us. It's our turn to show up and show out for them here, and because they show up for our people globally. Y'all see the shirt? Y'all know what I'm saying. Build a base. Join a base building organization. Build cross-sectorally. Pay attention globally. Do not blame marginalized and targeted communities for the poor performance and bad decisions of the Democratic Party. Be bold, y'all. When I ask regular people what they want out of their leaders, they said audacity to believe that we could win, right? Be radical, get to the root cause of these problems, especially when we're creating them. And remember that as goes the South, so goes the nation is not an opinion, it's a fact. If we leave out any of, oh, is there a Southerner in the house? We gotta remember that trust Black women is a practice, not a value. And Black women have been saving the Democratic Party for centuries. They're telling me I gotta wrap up, comrades, so I'm gonna be quick. The Black revolutionary Frantz Fanon once wrote that each generation must, out of relative obscurity, discover its mission, fulfill it, or betray it. It's one of my best friend's favorite quotes. I'm gonna say it one more time. Each generation must, out of relative obscurity, discover its mission, fulfill it, or betray it. So we need to lead like our loved ones' abilities to live in healthy, sustainable, and equitable communities, to live thriving lives and not just to survive fascism, is actually dependent on our leadership in this moment. I want you to again remember who you love. I want you to think what might happen if we don't do that. But more excitedly, I want you to think about what happens if you actually take the call to be responsible leaders on their behalf in this moment. What might happen? What utopian vision might become more possible because of your commitment to valued, principled leadership in this moment? Audacious, bold, radical, I would dare say revolutionary leadership in this moment. We might fuck around and win. In fact, we often do. And that winning would make it possible for us to build a new way where our descendants don't just lead trained up to be good fighters, but inherit the power to govern from a place of love, govern from a place of boldness, govern from a place of power and respect for all, and abundant love for self and community. Is that what you want to do for the people you love? I don't believe you. Is that what you want to do for the people that you love? Get up if that's what you want to do for the people you love. Get up if you believe that the power of the people can overcome any hate that the right is throwing at us. I want to see you rise if you believe that with your leadership, us being, if we are really Netroots Nation, that it will be us that puts fascism down for the last time. I want to see you on your feet if you believe that it will be Netroots Nation that brings about beloved community in our lifetime, because anything less is unacceptable. It's our turn, good people. I can't wait to see you there.